One of our commitments is answering every single question that gets thrown our way. And one of the most common questions, if not the most common question that we get, is, Adrian, what the heck is hypnosis? We get this question a lot because we utilize hypnosis inside of our Resilient Minds program. Hypnosis is actually a big part of a process that we call the mind shift method. And since we utilize hypnosis, it's very important that our audience has a proper understanding of what hypnosis actually is. All right, so let's go ahead and let me take the time and give you that answer in full depth. So if we're going to go ahead and give you the direct answer to what exactly is hypnosis, hypnosis is simply a process. You see, if you go Google what is hypnosis, you're going to see a ton of definitions come up. In fact, one of the most common definitions is a altered state of mind, right? They get somebody into a trance-like altered state of mind. So again, if you go look at it, you're going to notice that most people refer to hypnosis as a state of mind. Okay? But that's wrong. Hypnosis is not a state of mind. Hypnosis is simply a process that gets somebody into a state of mind. One more time. Hypnosis is not a state of mind. Hypnosis is not a mind state. It's not a mindset. It's not a place of mind, okay? Hypnosis is a process. It is a tool to get somebody into a state of mind. Now, you may be wondering, what exactly is this state of mind? Well, this state of mind is very simply put, alpha brainwaves. Because when you are in hypnosis, what's happening is your brainwaves go from beta to levels of alpha and theta. So right now, the likelihood of you being in beta is like 99.9%. Your waking alert consciousness is what we call beta. And then underneath that is when you get a little bit relaxed, right? To the point where there is no tension. That's what we call alpha. Right? When you're in a light meditation, or if you're in a warm shower, or you just woke up from a long night's sleep and you're kind of laying in bed still a little sleepy, or maybe it's before sleep where you're starting to get tired and your eyes are starting to get heavy. That right there is what we call alpha brainwaves. Alpha brainwaves is also where we experience what we call flow. This is very important because whenever they studied what happens, the changes in the brain whenever we go through flow, what they notice is that when people dip into flow, into deep states of genius, they go from beta to alpha brainwaves. So alpha is where we do all of the work with hypnosis. Actually, it's all done in alpha brainwaves. Sometimes it's even done in theta. Now, theta is a deeper state of mind. It's not like a deeper state of mind. It's just a slower frequency than alpha brainwaves. So theta, you experience theta every day as you go from sleep to wakefulness and from wakefulness to sleep. A lot of the times, though, you are not conscious of this transition. So you pass right through it. But theta, you've experienced it all the time, especially if you're a meditator. If you're somebody who likes to meditate, and let's say after like 30 minutes of meditating, like you're just like gone, right? Like you are so deeply relaxed, you can't even feel your legs or your arms. That is a state of theta brainwaves, okay? We get into theta all the time. There are a lot of people who can consciously get into theta, but there's not a lot of people out there who can consciously get into theta. A lot of monks, a lot of people who are really trained in meditation are actually really good at tapping into theta very, very quickly too, okay? And so beneath theta, right? So we have beta, we have alpha, we have theta, and then after theta, we then have something called delta. Now, delta is what we call the deepest state. That is basically dreamless sleep. That is the deepest state of sleep where there are no dreams happening. You are just out like a light. All right? So that's brainwaves, and hypnosis takes somebody, it's a tool, it's a process to get somebody from beta down to alpha and or theta. That is all hypnosis is. It is not a state of mind. It is just a process that gets somebody into what we call a trance. Now, a trance is nothing abnormal either. People hear the word trance and they're like, okay, that sounds like some woo-woo. I'm about to cuss here, right? But it sounds like some woo-woo crap, right? But if you look at it, a trance is not woo-woo. It's not abnormal at all. In fact, you are in a trance right now. A trance is nothing more than a state of absorbed attention to the point where you are filtering out other information. Let me prove to you that you're in a trance right now. Are you aware of the sensations in your left foot? Now you are. But before I ask you if you're aware of the sensations in your left foot, I can imagine you were not aware of those sensations in your left foot. Why? Because you were filtering it out, because it was not relevant to your experience. You were paying attention to me. You were paying attention to the video, right? So it filtered out that information. So in other words, you are in a trance right now. In order to be alive, you are in a trance because you receive 2 million bits of information per second, but you're only aware of 134 bits of information per second. You literally have to process information out in order to live. If you were aware of all the information coming at you, you would be going crazy right now, right? So you are in a trance right now. The only matter is what degree of a trance are you in, and are you in a trance that serves you? When I say are you in a trance that serves you, because you could be in a trance that convinces you that you're not good enough at something. So if that trance convinces you that you're not good enough at something, guess what happens? You filter out the evidence that you are good at something. Okay? So we're in trances all the time. So there are very many ways to get into these states of mind. Hypnosis is a process, guys. Here's a bunch of things that get you into a state of mind. Reading, that we can call it hypnosis because it induces a state of mind. Writing, working on a project, looking at somebody you're absolutely in love with and locking eyes with them and falling into daze, right? Having sex, working out, taking a shower. All of these things, going to the doctor, driving, watching the news, all of these things get you in a real life trance. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So we can call all of those hypnosis because they are not the trance, but they get somebody into the trance. They're all trance-inducing activities. Okay, so at the end of the day, everything is hypnosis. That is literally it. Hypnotherapy is using hypnosis in a therapeutic sense to help somebody accomplish a goal, solve a problem, improve their quality of life. Hypnosis is a process that gets somebody into a state of mind. Hypnotherapy is not I don't like to say it's an alternative therapy. It's more of a complementary therapy that uses hypnosis as a tool to change somebody's behavior patterns, to change somebody's emotional experience. So it is a very powerful tool. Okay, so hypnosis and hypnotherapy, they're not the same thing. Hypnotherapy uses hypnosis to accomplish a certain goal. That right there is it. Now, why exactly is hypnosis such an effective thing? So this is not me being biased. This is like an objective view. If you look at the statistics, hypnosis is it has the highest success rate amongst every form of other therapy. Most therapies take about, in fact, I believe psychotherapy on average takes about 26 sessions to get a result. Hypnosis on average takes 2 to 5 sessions at a 93% success rate. Now, why is hypnosis so effective like that? The reason why is simple, because it bypasses something called conscious faculty, critical faculty. Conscious critical faculty is the part of your mind that judges things, that makes things right, makes things wrong, that has all of its interpretations, that interprets things. That part of your mind is also the conscious part of your mind that can make change very hard, right? But what happens is, through hypnotherapy or using hypnosis, you're able to get this conscious critical faculty and you're able to let it rest. You're able to kind of shock it, let it calm down. And when that happens, you can directly communicate with the unconscious mind. This is important because all of your behavior, all of your results, all of your experiences are being stemmed from this subconscious part of yourself. This subconscious, unconscious mind is the storehouse of all of these byproducts like behavior patterns, habits, things that people use to change when they go to a hypnotist, a hypnotherapist, right? This is important because when you're able to communicate with that part of your mind, you're able to communicate to the mind that it no longer needs these things, that these things are no longer serving you, and you become aware of what even caused them to happen in the first place, and you're able to let them go, which is also important because all permanent behavior change occurs in the unconscious part of your mind. You consciously give your mind things to change, but unconsciously it actually makes it happen. So through hypnosis, you bypass the conscious critical mind and you go directly to that subconscious part and you're able to make direct changes there, which is why it tends to have a much higher success rate in a much shorter period of time. So that's what hypnosis is. That's what hypnotherapy is. And with all that being said, I hope that answered your question. Are there some dark sides of hypnosis? Absolutely. In fact, inside of this blog here, you'll see I go all into that stuff. So just go ahead and read it, check it out, and you'll be able to see what people use hypnosis for, what it's good for. In fact, if you want to know what it's good for, really quickly, changing habits, changing behavior patterns, getting over fears, getting over phobias, improving your confidence, making changes to your personality are all great things. These are things that are very easily done with hypnosis. Even overcoming addictions and overcoming compulsive behavior is something that is very, very successful when done with hypnotherapy, with hypnosis. Now, let me just say, just because it has a high success rate does not mean it's for everybody. Trust me, it's not. In fact, there are so many times where I tell somebody, hey, you may be better off hiring a cognitive behavior therapist. You may be better off going to a somatic therapist. You may be better off going to a psychotherapist. You may be better off just hiring a mindset coach. Like I'll even tell people, look, we can work together, but you also need to go hire a somatic therapist at the same time. Let me tell you why. Hypnotherapy is not for everybody. In fact, if you are bipolar, if you are struggling with any kind of bipolar, psychosis, any kind of severe mental illness, then I actually recommend you not looking into hypnotherapy. Cognitive behavior therapy will be much better. Maybe you have extreme levels of PTSD. If you have extreme levels of PTSD, I'd actually encourage you to go check out a somatic therapist along with a hypnotherapist, right? But there are a lot of different modalities out there. Let me just say hypnotherapy is not for everybody. In fact, the most important determining factor to determining whether or not it's for you is, do you feel safe with the idea of going through a process of being, quote unquote, hypnotized? Like, do you feel safe going through that process? Do you feel comfortable with the hypnotherapist, with the hypnotist, with the facilitator, with the guide? Do you feel comfortable in yourself enough to do it? Because if you do, if you feel comfortable with the idea, then chances are it's really for you. If you feel very resistant to the idea, then it's not for you. All right, so hope that helped you. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer them as we always do in full.